Thanasi Kokkinakis picks his favorite to win the U.S. Open between Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. Sinner tops the world rankings going into the U.S. Open, although Alcaraz is the most recent champion on the ATP Tour. He emerged victorious in the Cincinnati Open final on Monday, in which Sinner retired with illness after just 23 minutes. Alcaraz praised Sinner after winning their final before going on to compete in the U.S. Open mixed doubles event. The Spaniard lost his opener with Emma Raducanu, while Sinner withdrew from the tournament entirely following his illness in Cincinnati. Both players now turn their focus to the U.S. Open main draw, with their fellow ATP player Thanasi Kokkinakis picking his favorite between the two to lift the trophy. The world number 245 said of Sinner's recent retirement on Australian Open TV, "I don't think this will affect him too much." What Carlos Alcaraz said to Jannik Sinner at the net after he announced he was retiring from their match. "It's obviously disappointing for him to go out like that in the final. I saw Zverev was struggling as well with illness. It is so hot there. That North American swing, I think, is the toughest place to play. It's usually around the mid-30s, but it's super humid. For me, when I was on tour, it was always Washington, Cincinnati, and New York that are the places that are the hardest to play. Australia gets hot, but it's a bit drier. Unless you go to Brisbane, which is a bit more humid, but the North American swing takes the gas out of you for some reason, a lot more. I think Carlos got the dream draw in the semis and final to breeze through that, but I think Sinner will recharge and he will be back to 100%. I would say he's still the favorite for the U.S. Open if he's healthy." Alcaraz took his ATP title tally for the season to 6 following his latest win, with his stunning career total now standing at 22. Sinner, in contrast, has won 2 times in 2025 so far, with the Italian sitting on 20 ATP titles in his glittering career. He does, however, have 2 Grand Slam titles to his name, winning the Australian Open and Wimbledon, while Alcaraz won the French Open. Asked who he thinks will go on to win the most trophies between the duo, Kokkinakis replied, "It's so tough to say because I think both at their top level. I think Carlos probably has the edge. He has a little bit more variety and a bit more firepower. But I think Carlos's only weakness is when he gets bored on court. Then he gets a bit erratic and tries to win points in so many different ways that he gets a bit impatient and he always wants to put on a show for the crowd. I think Sinner is obviously an incredible player, but I think he's a bit more mentally stable, and you know what you are going to get from him day in and day out. He's not going to try too many crazy shots or playing to try and impress the crowd so much. He's just trying to play to win. There is no weaknesses in Jannik's game. He moves so well on both sides. I have never seen someone defend out of the backhand side like he does. He slides on hard courts like it's nothing. I think it's tough because Carlos's top level is better, but Jannik, I feel like mentally is going to be a bit more stable and probably have fewer surprising shock defeats. If recent history is anything to go by, either Sinner or Alcaraz will triumph at this year's U.S. Open in New York. They represent each of the last 7 Grand Slam champions and met in both the 2025 French Open and Wimbledon finals.